Hello and welcome to The Big Fight, and it's now that time which we try and do once every 6 months or so, where we sit back and take stock of where national politics is really moving, and it's a particularly opportune time to do it because in light of what's happened in Uttarakhand and the aftermath of that particular embarrassment for the centre, there is talk about the entire opposition perhaps coming together, and next week, once you start getting the results from the assembly elections, again that talk will gain more and more momentum. And one more factor that's playing into that was the decision of the Bahujan Samaj Party to actually support the Congress in Uttarakhand. And people are wondering whether that has any signals for Uttar Pradesh. Is that signaling some sort of a realignment or no? And others will say, well, this is all just talk. At the end of the day, opposition unity is something very difficult to do, and it's all going to simply fall apart. And the person who will no doubt be taking that line is GV Narasimha Rao from the BJP, who's right here. We have Sushmita Dev of the Congress Party with us as well. Pawan Verma is with us from the JDU. Great to have you with us. We do have with us Nilotpal Basu, Central Secretariat member of the CPIM. Surendra Bhadoria joins us, spokesperson of the Bahujan Samaj Party, who will tell us whether the Uttarakhand decision presages some sort of a bigger, grander alliance, or is it too early to say that? And then two people who are going to be helping us, actually three people are going to help us in join all the dots together. Aarti Jairat, senior journalist, Padma Sundarji, also a senior journalist and an author, and Dr. Shiv Shakti Bakshi, who's the executive editor of Kamal Sandesh, obviously very close to the BJP. For starters, let's just quickly get whether Uttarakhand and what happened out there is signaling some sort of a change one way or the other. Why don't I start with you, GV Narasimha Rao? It was a mistake. I think you recognize it was a mistake by now.
No, certainly no. We think it wasn't a mistake because with the outcome that you have at the end of this entire month and a half long drama is the Congress had lost 9 MLAs which they had, which were members of the Congress party. And this was largely Congress party's internal rebellion, internal problems which led to this entire saga of 6 weeks. So the BJP had nothing to do with it. This is the same thing that happened in Arunachal Pradesh, and there are similar situations emerging in other parts of the country as well.
Okay, I'm going to come down to what it might mean, and again the state of national politics. But Sushmita, your takeaway for starters from whatever happened in Uttarakhand?
Well, I think it was not just a mistake; it was a blunder, and that's proved beyond doubt because of the Supreme Court judgment.
Leading up to the rest of what we're going to be discussing, some sort of political realignments, are they taking place?
We had been supporting the Congress government, Harish Rawat as Chief Minister since 2012 onwards. This was nothing new. So to on the eve of elections, for people to expect that we would turn around was, I do not know how somebody was getting this idea, number one. And insofar as the Uttaranchal decision of the BJP is concerned, this is nothing new. After the defeat in Delhi and in Bihar, where they were completely routed, they were looking for opportunities of entering into power through methods like, but this they had done earlier also in UP, for instance, when Behan Mayawati ji was the Chief Minister. Kesarinath Tripathi, their speaker, that is how he did it. 3 MLAs, 5 MLAs, 7 MLAs. There were no, and the entire anti-defection bill was ripped to pieces by the BJP government of Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So this is what I want to say, and therefore there is.
Do you have anything to say against the Congress party or no? I'm just trying to
well,
get.
Congress party has also done it. Let me also say this. It is not that Congress has never done this. They have also misused 356. They did it in the case of Kerala, where Namboodiripad government was dismissed, and not once. I can reel on government after government. So both the Congress and the BJP, when they start losing support, they try and use these methods of trying to non-constitutional methods, anti-democratic methods to get into power.
So let me come to the reason of why I'm trying to ask all these questions. Because if you see, and let's just put up a list in case you're wondering, the state of political alignments right now. So you've got obviously all of these parties, which are the BJP's allies, Shiv Sena, TDP, LJP, SAD, PDP, and the others. And then you've got the Congress party's allies, which is again a list that we all know and which way most of them are going to be going. There are a certain number of what you can call fence sitters or swing parties. So if you're saying that there is a realignment taking place or the opposition unity might be getting strengthened, the question is where will these parties be moving, which is includes parties like the Bahujan Samaj Party, what's going to happen to the Samajwadi Party, then TRS and the TMC, which way will they go? They've been aligned with both in various times. And then you have the JDU, which was a great ally of the BJP all this time, but perhaps now also sees itself as potentially the person or the party with a candidate who could lead anti-Mr. Modi alliance in 2019.
The BJP, RSS combined in the 2 years that it has been in power, I believe has been a great disappointment. And few governments in democratic history of India has there been such a big gulf between promise and delivery. Our position is that whether on this front, over the social front, the economic front, the agrarian front, administrative front, foreign policy front, on a host of measures, including above all jobs, and there are very young people in this audience, this government has failed, and therefore the time has come to begin
There's still 3 years to go for the election.
For this particular reason, we have said the time has come to explore a platform on which those parties and forces which are opposed to the BJP can begin the process of coming together without as yet any commitment of an alliance or a merger or any such thing. Exploration must begin, because that is essential in order to defeat this government.
Can I ask you a leading question before I come to...
No, his partner in Bihar already is disagreeing with this proposition.
I'm not
you
saying...
have RJD questioning...
Shiv Sena is questioning him, so it doesn't matter.
No, you have only
and
alliance
Badal
you
is
have...
even more angry with him than with us.
You see, JDU, let's understand, this is all hunger for power. Nothing else. On one hand, it's hunger for power. Second, it's political insecurity. Because if we don't stay together, we will all get finished. They've all become marginalized in Lok Sabha polls, and it's a sense of insecurity.
Who has lost in Bihar? Who has lost in Delhi?
No. RJD does not want Nitish Kumar's pictures on their advertisements. Lalu's son releases ads without chief minister. He doesn't want to acknowledge existence of chief minister. Raghuvansh Prasad, RJD leader, today says Nitish Kumar cannot go on project himself. So I think you have not gone even beyond Bihar.
But they want Narendra Modi and Amit Shah only.
You are dreaming of India.
Okay, so can I ask a question? The Congress party, though perhaps the largest of the, I'm saying perhaps, and I was seeing her glaring at me as I said perhaps, perhaps the largest of the opposition parties, there is a question of the leadership and whether there is a leader who can come on and challenge Narendra Modi in 2019. Is that what you're going to try and say, that Nitish Kumar perhaps would be a better challenger than somebody from the Congress party?
Let me reiterate.
Is that what you're throwing the hat into the ring at this stage?
Not at all. In fact, the first thing Nitish Kumar said is, he has never said anything about wanting to be Prime Minister. In fact, he said, clarified that right now the question of bringing these forces together, obviously if the Congress party is the larger party in a possible alliance, that is a question to be decided later.
No, but the problem which the Congress party has, is that people aren't necessarily convinced that you have a leader. I'm sorry to put it bluntly, but that's the point.
That's your perception, and that's fine.
I'm saying that's the comment which is often made.
That's a comment that's often made, but I think what we are discussing here is, Vikram, you're talking about aligning, right? So I would say what happens often on the floor of the parliament or in the floor of an assembly is often guided by the issue that we are facing at that moment. We've seen it happen in the Lok Sabha, we've seen it happen in the Rajya Sabha, we've seen it happen in Uttarakhand. But that doesn't have a larger meaning or an electoral implication. And as for talking about my leader, you'll have to call me another day on another debate and I'll answer to that, who has a better leader and who doesn't. But I think...
Oh, I thought you were saying I refuse to comment whether he is good or not.
He's good. He's good. Well, what I'm trying to say here is that often a lot of alliances happen depending on what's on the floor of the house.
Fine.
So you shouldn't mistake it for an electoral alliance.
Nirupal Basu, is there any signal that we can take? I mean, is the left party going to once again come up at some point and saying what happened to that third front idea, which has never got much traction? Or is the alliance with the Congress party in West Bengal signaling something for the future?
First of all, Vikram, I think BJP earlier used to surprise me, but of late they have started entertaining me. Because if somebody says that what happened on Uttarakhand was not a mistake and great gain by luring away 9 people, I think I don't know who can help them. Secondly, the question
You've
is,
never accepted your blunder in West Bengal. So I don't think you can comment on
I
this.
believe I was not interfering with what you were saying. You see, trying to impose a personality-driven paradigm in Indian polity, we are suffering for the last 2 years because of that. I think there are far more serious issues on which we have to find a platform whereby we can unite every Indian, irrespective of their political differences. That should be the approach. Because we cannot
No, but in politics, I'm sorry, I don't understand that in politics.
Vikram, I'm just
Okay.
So the question is that therefore in a country like India, in a society as diverse and as plural as India, to try and impose an individual and try and transform a parliamentary system of democracy into a presidential system is fraught with great many dangers. I am saying what is happening today, I mean, today you do not have a homogeneous national. You have a summation of regionals, and you have also summation of different situations. So, same party will behave in a particular manner in the context of a particular issue, in a context of a particular state. So, we are fighting it out in Kerala. I mean, as much as we are fighting authoritarianism of the Mamata government with some understanding and if somebody has to be given credit for bringing all this together, it is the BJP and its both authoritarian and communal methods which they have.
But I don't see them coming
really,
together here.
really
No, they're not coming together. But
deadly
actually, hang on.
accuracy during the
So
last
you're
few
right. So, you know,
I don't
actually.
see any of them coming together in this debate.
Well, that's exactly, I think, one of the things that is coming together. There's no clear coming together, except for the fact that a lot of them are united against you. And are you playing your role, having infuriated both of them, can I ask you now, have you not played your role in uniting the opposition to a much greater extent by being slightly more belligerent, perhaps, than you could have? I mean, the government came to power on a platform of development and other things.
Sabka saath, sabka vikas.
Sabka saath, sabka vikas. It's been overtaken by a lot of antagonism, a lot of belligerence.
Let me make it very clear. We are exactly implementing our agenda the way we envisaged it. We do not agree with your concept of secularism. We want to call a spade a spade. We think you are indulging in naked communalism and giving it the cover of secularism. We do not agree with your proposition.
I mean, just to let go Sadhvi Pragya and Colonel Purohit.
No,
I mean,
just arrest them for your so-called secularism agenda to give bad name to India, to give a bad name to Hinduism, to use it as a vote bank politics.
For fighting terrorism, he has to be vilified after his death.
Okay.
That is exactly your agenda.
It is the NIA which is investigating these cases. How NIA was manipulated, subverted when the Congress was in power is public knowledge.
Everybody knows.
Okay, are there straws in the wind which are pointing to political realignments right now, or is it too early?
Well,
Is the opposition coming together because some of the missteps of the government to say, look, let's try and come together and try and find how we can. And you know, this is interesting that we're having this debate because at the end of the thing, in other areas, things are moving.
See, I think it's a little too early to talk about realignment because this government hasn't even completed 2 years yet. The next election is 3 years away. And as we've seen in Indian politics, you know, these alliances, electoral alliances, happen mostly in the last year before the elections. So it's a bit too early. But there is no question. But there is no question that the BJP is certainly, by its missteps, you know, sort of creating a fear amongst all the opposition parties. I mean, basically resurrecting the ghost of Indira Gandhi. And as you know, she became the most uniting factor for, you know, the opposition parties in 1977. What has happened in Uttarakhand? There has been criticism across the board, even from allies like Shiv Sena, even from parties that maintain an equidistance like BJD, and within the BJP.
All
of
allies
course.
are not happy with them in
And
Maharashtra.
I think that this has certainly, you know, created a sense of anxiety
So a certain amount of antagonism, a slight. You seem to be saying that
which do not want a return to the old days of a predominant national party that centralizes everything in Delhi.
Okay, so that's, you think, so some of their missteps are uniting others
Definitely.
against them is
No
what you say.
question about it.
Shiv
I
Shakti,
contributed a lot.
let me just get Shiv
If
Shakti.
there
I'll
is
answer
a
your behalf.
front in future, the
It's
BJP will have
I think
contributed
the
to
growing
creating it.
stature of Prime Minister Shri Narendra
the
Modi.
diminishing
One
stature.
second.
growing-
No, this is
bullying
not
stature
my
of
no.
Narendra
One
Modi
second.
is
This
coming under
is borne out
May
by
I say
all
something,
opinion
please?
polls, media opinion polls. One of the polls last fortnight, what did it say? 70% of the people would like to see him as Prime Minister again, compared to 10% for Rahul Gandhi. That is the kind of
Please
a
tell
lead
me
that
you're
he has
not depending
taken.
on
He is
polls.
making everyone insecure.
Popularity
Even Atal
polls
Bihari
are
Vajpayee
there.
was on the top,
Why
but
did
then
you
he lost
win
the election
Bihar
in
and Delhi
2004.
then?
Shiv Shakti.
If he's so popular, why did
Padma,
you
Are
lose
you
Bihar?
questioning? Are you questioning the media polls?
Problem
These
is,
are
I'm
I don't
questioning
understand
you.
the nature
No,
of Indian
this is the
society and
reality.
politics. Atal
Just
Bihari
walk out.
Vajpayee,
It's typical
being
BJP
head above shoulders,
arrogance.
lost the election
No, that's
in
the
2004.
reality.
Okay,
Not
hang on.
one poll, half a dozen polls.
Why did you lose Bihar? If Narendra Modi ji is
Can I
so
get Shiv
popular,
Shakti
why did
into
you
this?
lose Bihar? Why did
No,
you lose Delhi?
It was no. If it was,
What
if
happened
it
to
was
his
a Lok Sabha,
popularity
I
then?
challenge you. If it were a Lok Sabha election, we would have bettered our performance in Bihar. No, I think there is a divergence in the way people vote in Lok Sabha polls
is
and
this
assembly
arrogance,
polls.
sir.
Wait for
Okay,
the
maybe,
getting
maybe.
crowns
There
in
is.
all the assemblies.
Not
Maybe.
maybe there is.
Fine. All right, Dr. Shiv Shakti, let me get you in before I come to Padma.
Actually, there is a rare situation in the country. If you see the opposition actually suffers from a rare kind of fragmentation right now. If you can see, opposition cannot come together at all India level, because if you can see how if it comes together, then it is a very opportunistic and through a very unholy alliance. Like you can see, Congress is in alliance with left in Bengal and it is fighting against TMC. And on the other hand, in Kerala, Congress is fighting against the communists. So this kind of unprincipled alliance cannot give a credible opposition to the country. And the experiment right
What
now in
about Jammu
Bihar,
and
it has
Kashmir?
also...
PDP in
What
Kashmir.
have you done in
Janasangh
Jammu
and
and
the
Kashmir?
communists.
No, PDP is a
Unholy
different
alliance.
case.
Okay.
PDP is a different case. No, PDP is a different case. That
Kanhaiya is
is
a-
an
Kanhaiya
attempt
is
towards
a-
harmony.
Traitor, but
There is no
Afzal Guru,
contradiction.
PDP
There is
said
no
Afzal Guru
contradiction.
is
Let
a-
me complete. There is no contradiction in PDP.
What
There
about
is
the
no
Janasangh
contradiction.
and the Communist
There is-
Party in the
there is
Soviet
attempt
government in
towards-
1967?
Attempt towards harmony. Attempts towards harmony. Let me complete. Let me
Harmony.
complete my argument. If you can see, right now the situation in the entire country, you see the Bihar experiment, it has completely failed. What kind of governance is there? Jungle Raj has
They're
returned.
entertaining us again.
This,
You're entertaining
cannot
us.
give
Thank
a
you.
credible
As much
leadership.
as you want,
Jungle Raj
you only
has
have...
returned in Bihar.
Sir,
What kind
please
of
get out of
murders?
the world of illusion. Come to the real world.
There is no investment coming to Bihar. No investment.
It's not about
coming to
Bihar
No
elections
attempt,
specifically.
only-
Padma?
You see where the attack
And
is.
even you see,
She's not.
even you see the Nitish Kumar,
And sir,
who
Mr.
is trying to
Modi's
project
economy is
himself
doing
at
very
national
well.
level, he
Investments
is
have fallen by
not even
30%.
getting the support of Lalu
Exports are down by
Yadav.
13%.
Nitish Kumar is not even getting the support of Lalu Yadav.
Manufacturing is
He is
down by
trying to
11.5%.
project himself
Okay,
for Congress.
Agriculture is
So
going
this
at
kind
less
of-
than 1%.
This
Okay,
I
kind of
think live in
development
illusion. Prime Minister's
This kind of
popularity has
development
increased
shape.
compared to
Ah,
Lok Sabha
that
elections.
is the point.
People
First, the
I-
commission
I-
is
is
the one
Padma,
that
there is
I
no
didn't
one
intervene
inside.
when
Can
you
I
were
ask
not
you a
speaking.
question?
As
Can Padma say something? Padma?
Vikram pointed out, the next
you were
general
speaking,
elections
I
are very
didn't
far away.
intervene.
May I please
Sorry,
have my
Shiv
say?
Shakti,
Thank
Shiv
you.
Shakti, need 2 seconds. Padma.
Yeah,
Sorry, Nitish Kumar has completely
that
failed.
is
in
Okay,
his
we'll worry about the next Bihar election now. What is Nitish Kumar?
he's not even seen 6 months.
He's
Vikram,
It is
may I please
actually
speak?
very
Yeah,
difficult.
Padma Rao.
Okay.
Padma.
It is very
It
difficult.
has moved
All right,
out.
Shiv Shakti.
The first thing
See,
I'd like to
Ajit
say
is not
is that
supporting
I
Nitish Kumar.
agree with Aarti and
Lalu
I
Yadav
agree
is
with
not supporting Nitish Kumar.
All right, Shiv Shakti ji,
Don't worry.
we
Their
moved on.
attempt-
We
they
moved
have
on now.
completely
Padma
failed in
Rao.
their attempt.
Thank you. May I
candidate
speak,
for
sir?
BJP.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, there's no panic-stricken situation yet that for BJP supporters that the entire country is going to be lost in one go. Number one. Number two, however, having said that, I'd like to point out the party spokesman. The one thing that has that is beginning to annoy a certain level of BJP voter, which is a centrist voter, which has not voted the BJP for the sake of its Sangh Parivar support or the RSS support. What is beginning to annoy that kind of voter is the fact that the arrogance of having this absolute power in the center is, causing many of you to come out with statements like, oh, but nothing happened in Uttarakhand.
this was all very fine. Ultimately, they ended with mud on their nose. I mean, abducting 9 people and all that. This, let's... No, 1 minute.
Come on.
1 minute, please let me finish.
We have not kidnapped
please
people.
let me finish.
These
Please
are
let
a
me
former
finish in a
chief
matter of
minister
speech.
of
Please let
Uttarakhand.
me
He
finish
crosses
in a
over to
matter
the
of speech. Please
he
let
comes
me...
out to the Congress. How do you
Please let
blame
me
the
finish,
BJP?
sir, in a manner of speech.
Yeah, please don't
So the
use
point
inappropriate
is,
words.
I think what you should be more worried about is the blow to your image and the progressive blows to that excellent image you built up by
But they should
entering the
also
Lok
tell us about the
Sabha
chai
with
par
the
charcha in
majority.
Amit Shah's
The
house
second
with
point,
these
Vikram,
people.
I'd
Chai
like to
par
make
charcha.
is that the political realignment that you spoke of and that you asked Aarti about, I heard Pawan again use the word platform. Anybody who's lived here for 56 years knows the number of times, not so many times, but we've had several occasions where this word platform has been raised, new political alignment, the third front.
And often
Time and again it has collapsed. Time and again it has collapsed. I think everyone here will agree. Today somebody is somebody's enemy. As Sushmita pointed out, when the time gets closer, there's so much horse trading, there's so many little deals going on that you find the unlikeliest of people in alliances, as we have seen in Kashmir with the PDP and the BJP. I mean, and we have Omar Abdullah, the former chief minister, was one of the biggest critics of the BJP. He was once in a BJP government. So, all this stuff about, this time so-and-so supported so-and-so, these things come and go. May I please finish, Aarti? I just have one more point. Yes, I just have one more point.
So I think you need to keep that in.
But I think the BJP should be toning down its over self-confidence and this self-assurance that because we're in the majority
Can I put forward two theses out here, and I want to get everyone's take on that based on what we've discussed so far. 2 points. One relates to the BJP, one relates to the opposition parties. And the point for the BJP is that it's been 2 years. Many of the ministries have actually done pretty good work, and there is a lot of development in certain areas that could be spoken about. But whether you like it or not, the perception of the government has been overtaken by other issues, the political agenda, the Sangh agenda, the right-wing agenda, those things. And that is what, if you ask people, is the major image of the government, and that's why there's a tendency for the opposition to unite against you. This is one thesis which comes to the BJP. For the opposition, the thesis is that you can go on trying to oppose them as much as you like, but the contradictions within various opposition parties is so much that at the end of the day, you will always find it tough to unite against the BJP.